Hello everyone, I am Nikita Mondal, student of English department. Today we are diving deep into one of the trippiest, most psychologically profound books ever written, Lewis Carroll's Through the Looking Glass. While it looks like a whimsical children's story, but it's actually an existential survival guide. Let's look at how Alice's journey across a giant chessboard is actually a battle to define her own identity. The journey begins the moment Alice steps through the fireplace mirror. In literature, mirrors represent self reflection, but here the glass turns into mist. By entering this world, Alice is leaving behind the rigid, structured identity forced upon her by Victorian society. But in doing so, she enters a realm where logic is reversed, forcing her to question everything she thought she knew about herself. The interworld is a giant game of chess, and Alice starts as a humble pawn. Think about what a pawn is. It has no power, it can only move forward, and it's constantly pushed away by the bigger players. Right? This is the perfect metaphor for childhood to grow up and claim her identity. Alice has crossed several books represent life's developmental stages to reach the eighth square and finally become a queen. In chapter 3, Alice walks into the wood of no names and literally forgets her own name. It's a terrifying concept, but something beautiful happens. She meets Fawn, and because neither of them knows their labels, they don't know that humans are hunters and fawns are prey. They work together hand in hand in perfect peace. This scene asks a profound question. Who are we when we strip away our titles, names, and social labels? Every single character Alice meets tries to project their own bizarre labels onto her. These flowers tell her she is ugly because her petals are different, and the unicorn refers to her as a fabulous monster. Psychologists call this the looking glass self. The idea that our identity is built by how others perceive us. But Alice fights back. She maintains her sanity by actively refusing to let these absurd creatures define who she is. This is easily the darkest, most existential scene in the book. Alice finds the Red King sleeping, and the Tweedle twins tell her she is not real. She is just a figment of the king's dream. If he wakes up, she vanishes. It triggers a massive identity crisis. Alice cries to prove she is real, but Tweedledee points out that her tears are just dream tears. It forces us to ask, is our lived reality truly ours, or we just living out others' expectations? Enter Humpty Dumpty. He represents the ultimate linguistic tyrant. He famously tells Alice that when he uses a word, it means exactly what he chooses it to mean. He asserts that the real question is who is the master of the words? Carol is showing us that those in power control language, and by controlling language, they control the identity of ours. If we let others define the words we use, we let them define our reality. Just before Alice reaches her goal, becoming a queen, she meets the White Knight. Unlike the other hostile characters, he is gentle, eccentric, and protective. He represents the bittersweet nature of childhood memory. He sings her a song and she watches him ride away, knowing she is leaving his world of innocent play behind. It's her final peaceful farewell to the safety of childhood before crossing the final threshold. Alice finally gets her crown. She is a queen. But wait, the coronation feast is an absolute nightmare. The guests are screaming, the food is talking, and the queens are completely useless. Carol is satirizing adult authority here. Becoming an adult, getting the crown of status, responsibility does not actually bring order or peace. Recognizing the absurdity of adult rules, Alice finally takes control of her destiny by shaking the Red Queen and ending the game on her own terms. The book ends with the ultimate unsolved riddle. Which dreamed it? What is Alice dreaming of Red King or the Red King dreaming of Alice? Carol leaves us on this beautiful ambiguous note about agency. We might not always have full control over the rules of our world, but like Alice, we can choose to actively question them.